So what happened? We started to develop the night safari one day when I got a call from the Public Utilities Board, and they said, Bernard, what are you going to do with that other 60 hectares of land that you have at the zoo? And I said, we've got plans. And they said, well, can you send us a report? And I said, of course we can, no problem. And I quickly called Dr. Ong, who was my chairman, and I said, we need to send the PUB a report. And so we started having many, many lunches with captains of industry, trying to figure out what to do with the 60 hectares of land. And we had all sorts of very interesting things. But eventually, it was Lindy Alwis, this gentleman here, who came up with the idea, why don't we create an extension to the zoo and put on a nocturnal area very similar to tiger tops in Chitwan National Park in Nepal, where basically they used to take a live goat and tie it to a peg, and tigers would come in, kill the goat. It was watched by many people. Nowadays they don't do that because of animal welfare issues, but that was the concept that he was developing. And Dr. Ong, who was a very sharp man, and actually an entrepreneur by entrepreneurial standards, said to Lin, has this ever been done before in a zoo? And Lin said, no, it's never been done. And he took a very un-Singaporean decision. He said, in that case, let's do it. Most Singaporean civil servants would say, oh, Jesus, where's the benchmarking? But Dr. Ong was not so civil service. In fact, he was very anti-civil service. So what's the essence? The essence was to bring people in at night when the animal's active, because Singapore nights are cool and pleasant, and simulate moonlight with illuminated exhibits. Lin's idea was to take people around in jeeps and really create the feeling of being in a national park. We did a lot of modeling. We created a master plan, and we looked at financial capacities and viability, and we said it's not going to work. So we changed the concept, and we created a more managed experience. We themed it like going to a national park, but actually it was basically a zoo run at night. So we could increase our capacity from 500 people a night to actually now it is about 8,000 to 9,000 people a night who can actually move through. And we paid a lot of attention to design and lighting and an orchestrated experience. Now, the single reason why so many great ideas around the world don't fly is because of insufficient financing, and that's really quite a problem. We took it to Cabinet. We gave a proposal to Cabinet for a project for $54 million, and it took Cabinet 2 years, actually more than 2 years, to approve it. And every time, like every 3 months, Dr. Ong would call Cabinet Secretary and say, how is it? And he would say, you know what? The Cabinet just can't believe that Singaporeans would leave their TV sets in the comfort of their homes to go up to Mandai to look at a bunch of animals at night. And but eventually it was approved.